Rebecca and I'm one of the lemur keepers here at Taronga Zoo. We've been sent in a few questions from Lemur Love to answer, so let's get started. So our first question is, how long have you been a keeper at Taronga? So I've been a keeper here at Taronga Zoo for 3 years. Do you work with any other species? Yes. So here in the primate division we have multiple various species. So we have chimps and gorillas, we have white-cheeked gibbons and Francois langurs. We also have tamarins and squirrel monkeys, and of course our ringtail lemurs as well. Have you always been a primate person? Did any particular animal make you fall in love with primates? So I haven't always been a primate person. When I first set out to be a zookeeper, I did want to be a giraffe keeper. However, my first shifts were actually on chimps and lemurs, and I fell in love with these guys, and I've been here ever since. How many lemurs do you have at Taronga, and what are their names? So we have 6 male ringtail lemurs here at Taronga Zoo. We hold a bachelor group here. Their names are Julian and Bamboo. We have Andre and McKilly, and we have Salata and Andreba. So our eldest lemur is Salata at 21, and our youngest is Julian, who is 11. If you could build anything in their enclosure, what would it be? So we've been pretty lucky here at Taronga that we've been able to relocate our lemurs in the past 6 months from one enclosure to their new enclosure, which is this enclosure. And we were able to pick a few items that we really wanted for our lemurs. And one of them were actually woven sheltered pods for our lemur group here. So it took a few months for us to construct them, and lots of different students and staff members and volunteers helped us weave them, but they turned out amazing. I'll show you an example of one of them. So it was well worth it. Our lemurs do love to sit in them, and they all huddle into that very one, even though they've got multiple of them. So the next question is, what are their favourite enrichments? I've actually brought an example of one of their enrichments that they do love, so just grab it. So this is actually a wooden ball. We've actually drilled some holes into it, and what we can do is we can actually fill these holes with different food items. So today it's actually frozen corn, and we can also put different scents inside them as well. So we can hang these in the exhibit through this hole here, and they can twist it around like this. Otherwise we can put them on the ground and they can roll them around and manipulate them that way. So they do love these balls. Okay, so next question is, what training do you do with your lemurs? So we do 2 types of training with our lemurs. The first one would be cooperative husbandry behaviours. So we do ask our lemurs to hop onto a scale to be weighed. They even go into crates as well, so we can easily transport them, and our lemurs also offer up different body parts, so we can hand inject them if we do need to do a veterinary procedure for any reason. The second training that we do is try and encourage or showcase their natural behaviours. So we might get a lemur to climb one of the structures here, or showcase their leaping by jumping from one area to another as well. So what is your favourite lemur fact to share in Keeper Chats? So one of my favourite facts that I do like to share that most people aren't aware of is that lemurs actually use their tail to compete with one another. So they have a scent gland just on the inside of their wrist, just on this side, and again on the other side. And what they do is they actually use this to distribute onto their tails, and they can actually flick these tails at another lemur to compete with them. Another fact that I do like to share about lemurs is that ringtail lemurs are very endangered in the wild, with less than 2,000 left. And so when visitors do come to the zoo, we try and encourage them to live more sustainable lives, and what they can do as well to help lemurs in the wild, not just for ringtail lemurs, but also other species as well. So I want to say a big thank you to Lemur Love for having us. I think that's the end of our questions, and thank you very much for tuning in.